AI is already willing to use nuclear strikes. A multi-university study put together a war game simulator, basically an 8-player turn-based strategy game where players are nations competing in their decisions to try and come out on top. Researchers are also able to access a 250-word summary as to the AI's reasons behind their behavior every turn. What they found was the AI scarily prefers arms races and escalation, and it uses bad reasoning for deterrence and first strikes. One scenario even led to the nuclear strike. This comes on the heels of a November paper where researchers taught ChatGPT 4 to trade stocks, gave it insider information, and it traded on that information, then lied about it. All of this is on the backdrop of companies and militaries and governments adopting more and more AI into the world. What is it that scares or excites you most about artificial intelligence? Let me know in the comments. Car fumes are camouflaging flowers and impacting the ability of insects to find and pollinate them. Researchers out of the University of Washington set up a field experiment to study and watch hawk moths and pale evening primrose flowers. What they found was that in environments with elevated nitrogen radicals, like those that come from a car's exhaust pipe, had far less pollination activity. Hawk moths usually feed at night, and they prefer flowers with long corollas. Very famously, a French botanist in 1822 found a flower with a foot-long corolla with the nectar at the bottom, and Charles Darwin later predicted there's got to be a moth that can eat that. Sure enough, they found one, a cousin to the hawk moth, with a foot-long proboscis. The study went one step further and was able to simulate pre-industrial levels of nitrate radicals in the atmosphere, and the hawk moth pollination activity increased, thus highlighting humanity's role in our planet's struggle to stay alive. What's your take? Let me know in the comments. Burnt up papyrus scrolls from the ancient Roman eruption of Mount Vesuvius have successfully been reconstructed for the first time. The Vesuvius Project got its start in March of 2023 by releasing high-resolution CT scans of these papyrus. They also offered a substantial cash reward to anyone who could successfully reconstruct them. They just announced they've awarded their grand prize. The reconstructed papyrus scroll is apparently an Epicurean text, most likely written by a philosopher who was living at the via where the scrolls were found. Now, there's over 800 of these scrolls in an Italian library, and researchers are hoping that they might hold a lost work of Homer or Livy, Aristotle, or maybe a poem from Sappho. What kind of crazy stuff would you like them to find? Let me know in the comments. Chinese scientists have announced a breakthrough in slowing down the speed of light. The Chinese Academy of Science, along with Guangxi University, recently announced they were able to take the speed of light from some 670 million miles an hour down to the snail's pace of 67,000 miles an hour. They hope this is going to help us in the development of nanophotonic microchips, as well as quantum computing and optical communications. To achieve this feat, what they did was they took synthetic metasurfaces, basically two-dimensional layers of silicon that have properties found nowhere in nature, and they use those in conjunction with a technique called electromagnetically induced transparency, which can take opaque objects and make them transparent using varied energy states of atoms and a laser that creates a quantum bridge through them. In addition to slowing light down by a factor of 10,000 using this new technique of metasurfaces and EIT, it's also 5 times more energy efficient than any previous method found before. What do you think some of the most promising applications of slowing down light might be? Let me know in the comments.